Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. So we're a little bit different today because that's something that I kind of wanted to do just because I thought it could be fun because, well, you already saw the title and the thumbnail. Making my predictions for who's going to win at this year's Oscars, the 2026 Oscars, or the 98th Academy Awards. Wow, 98. That's wow. But yeah, I thought it just would be fun to go through and make predictions. So I actually have a list of predictions. So we are going to go through and talk about most of them. I will be skipping animated short film, documentary feature film, documentary short film, and live action short film, just because I have so little knowledge about those categories that I would just be making stuff up when I picked those. So, because like I haven't seen every single movie that we're going to talk about, but I've actually seen a good amount of them when it comes to the other categories. And plus, I'll be making predictions based off of uh, what I've seen like on the internet of the speculation, as well as what they've won of who's won the last couple awards throughout their award season, like the SAG Awards, or I think they changed the name of that now. Golden Globes, BAFTA, all of those, and then some of them are kind of just guesses. Others are like very informed. And then I'll also tell you who I think should win, or at least who I would be voting for to win these things also. All right, so we're going to start off. I think I have it in order that the Academy Awards website actually has it, except I'm going to say Best Picture for last. And like I said, we're going to skip the four categories that I just mentioned, which means that we are starting with oh man, we are starting with probably the hardest one, at least in my personal opinion, that being actor in a lead role. The nominees are Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and I'm going to butcher this name, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. So I've actually seen all these except for Blue Moon. But to me, I think the hard. So I think Leonardo DiCaprio has a chance. But I feel like it's mainly between Timothée Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan, because Timothée Chalamet has been winning pretty much everything. He didn't win the BAFTAs, I'm pretty sure. But the one that's making me question if it's going to be Timothy or if it's going to be Michael B. was the SAG Awards, because Michael B. Jordan actually won there, and so I'm very confused. So I almost feel like those are the two to pick. I mean, maybe Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like he does still have a chance. Uh, but you never know. So those are two I'm trying to decide, because I feel like Timothée Chalamet is the safer choice, because that seems to be the majority still, what most people are thinking. But I think that Michael B. Jordan could be a good pick too, because I could see it happening. I could see Marty Supreme, Timothée Chalamet being most people's choices, but then they call out the winner is Michael B. Jordan. And then people go crazy, and then I could see it being like an underdog pick. So part of me is very tempted to pick Michael B, but because it's also my first time doing it, I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm going to predict Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. Now, if I could be wrong, so if it's Michael B. Jordan, I'm not gonna say I'm right, but I'm gonna say I was almost right, just because I can. And I personally would also be voting for Michael B. Jordan. I just think his performance in Sinners was great, especially because he's playing two characters, and even the one character, because of his transformation to a vampire, is almost like two different performances. So yeah. All right, next up we have actor in a supporting role, and I'm going to butcher these names, so I apologize in advance. Nominees include Benicio del Toro, hopefully I said that name right, in One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. This is one that I actually have seen all of these movies, and I feel like a hard one, because I feel like I've heard most buzz for Sean Penn, although I've also heard some for Stellan Skarsgård. The rest not as much. Well, I don't know. I feel like I've heard buzz for a lot of them. I personally am going to pick Stellan Skarsgård to win. I feel like he's a bit more of an underdog choice, because I feel like he's not mentioned as much. But I decided to play it safe for leading actor, so I'll do what might be a bit more of a risk for supporting actor. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm the most experienced person here, so like some people watching this might be like, what, that's not an underdog pick or something like that, or like, because I won't lie, I'm not very experienced with the award stuff. It's just something that I find to be fun and enjoyable to keep track with, and it seems something that I've been keeping track of more recently too. Okay, who do I want to win? To be honest with you, I think I'm okay with everybody, but if I had to vote for one, I would probably vote for Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein. I think he did a pretty good job in that, so that would be my vote. Next up, actress in a leading role. I mean, everybody. I think this is the most like definitive lock that everybody knows who's going to win. But here are the nominees anyway. Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byron. Again, I'm probably butchering these names and I apologize, but oh well. For If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue. Renate Rensiv for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. I've actually seen all of these except for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I've not seen that one, so that might be a little unfair. But but we already know who's going to win this because they've been. Pretty sure they've won like every award in this category across the award season. That being Jessie Buckley as Hamnet. I honestly think that it would be a bad idea to pick someone else to win. As for who I would vote for, now there's a part of me that would like to vote for Kate Hudson just because I think she was great in Song Sung Blue. If you don't know, I loved Song Sung Blue. But even I think I would probably vote for Jessie Buckley. She just did such a great job in that film, and her performance is what helped make it such a heartbreaking film, especially that second act. So yeah, I think this is one where my pick and my prediction and my vote are the same. Now we move on to another difficult subject, I think. An actress in a supporting role. The nominees include Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. Again, I'm butchering these names here. Ingama. I'm not even going to try. I'll put the name on screen because I'm not even going to attempt it for Sentimental Value. Also, Amy Madigan for Weapons. Winmi Misoko for Sinners. Again, messing up names. And Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. To be honest, I think this is kind of has been feeling like a two-horse race where I feel like it's been the buzz has been between Amy Madigan for Weapons and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. This is one where I almost feel like the safe choice might be Taylor for One Battle After Another, but I actually think I'm going to pick Amy for Weapons just because I think there's a chance. Again, I feel like I went for the safe choice for a leading actor, so for supporting actress, I'll take the more of a risk, I think. I could be wrong, but I feel like they've also been the two that have been winning the most awards in this category this season. So, yeah, and then who I would vote for, honestly, I think this is another hard one. Admittedly, I think the only one I had not seen here is Weapons. So maybe I should. I've never been too much of a horror person, and then I just didn't get around to it in time when I heard how good it was. So I have not seen it, so... But so if I had to vote for one, this is a hard one. I'd probably go for Musaku for Sinners, or Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. Those would be my two. Admittedly, part of it could be just because I do like Elle Fanning, like in almost anything, but also Musaku was like great in Sinners. So one of those two. I'm kind of cheating, but yeah. All right, animated feature film. Even some of these names are going to mess up, I think. Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelia, or the character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. So now I have actually only seen two of these, I believe, that being Elio and Zootopia 2. I have not seen the others. Part of me thought about maybe checking out Demon Hunters because of how popular it was, but I just can't get myself to watch it. It just doesn't interest me at all, to be honest with you. I think my prediction to win is actually K-pop Demon Hunters. I think it's going to win. I do think I don't necessarily think it's like a guaranteed lock, just because I feel like it is possible. I don't think Disney will be winning this category or Pixar. I don't think it will be going to those, but I do think it could be between the other ones. But I'm gonna say K-pop Demon Hunters. Now my pick, admittedly, doesn't really my vote doesn't obviously wouldn't matter too much because I've only seen two of these films. But between the two, I prefer Zootopia 2, if that means anything. All right, next up we have casting, where the nominees are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. My prediction is going to be One Battle After Another. I think One Battle After Another is just going to win a whole lot of awards. I'm pretty sure they've already won a couple in this category, so I'm gonna officially predict that One Battle After Another will win this one here. If I had to take a vote on casting, I would probably go Sinners with this one, if I'm being honest. I think my pick for casting would be Sinners, but my prediction will be One Battle After Another. And I'm now realizing, now that we're halfway through, that I've been changing up my wording for what like prediction, pick and vote favorite. So, but I'll make it when I edit this. I'll make it clear on screen. Hopefully, next up is cinematography. Where the nominees are Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. This one, I actually have seen all of the movies in this category, and I do love me some really good cinematography, and I agree that all these had pretty great cinematography. Uh, Now, I do think that almost any of these could win, I think. I think all these have a pretty good shot at winning. I'm going to predict that Train Dreams wins, and also if I were voting, that would be the one I'm voting for, Train Dreams. Although I saw Train Dreams after I did my 2025 movies rank, so that wasn't included. But when I did do my list, when I talk about Sinners, I talk about how much I love the cinematography in that movie. So if they call out Sinners as the winner of this category, I would be a-okay with that. However, I do think that Train Dreams might slightly, just barely, had a bit better cinematography. To me, it's between those two for the best. Now, I think anyone could take this one winner-wise, but when it comes to the one I prefer, it's between those two. But I'm going to predict Train Dreams, and I'm going to say my pick would be Train Dreams also. My vote favorite. I messed up the wording, but hopefully I make it clear on screen. So while editing, I realized I completely forgot to talk about the costume design category. So real quick, we probably won't spend as much time on this category as the others just because I forgot about it. But costume design, the nominees were Avatar Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. And while I actually think the costume design in all these are great, and I think that the costume design was well deserved the nomination, my prediction, I'm going to say Sinners, and then if I were voting, I probably would also vote for Sinners. Although it is tempting to go Hamnet or Frankenstein, but I'm going to stick with Sinners, both as my prediction and my vote. Now we can keep going with what we were talking about. Ooh, now this one, in my personal opinion, is another very hard category. That being directing. We have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim, I'm messing up his name already, for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. To me, this is a two-horse race between Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. And this is I went back and forth on this one constantly of who's going to win Best Directing. Is Ryan Coogler going to take it, or is Paul Thomas going to take it? And I think the one who's going to win, I'm going to say, is Paul Thomas Anderson. He's been the one who's been winning a good amount of the directing awards, it seems. That seems to be where the most of the buzz is, so that's who I am going to predict wins. However, me personally, if I were picking, I'm picking Ryan Coogler for Sinners. I think he should win it. But will he? Probably not. It'll probably be for One Battle After Another. All right, film editing, another hard one, honestly, that admittedly, I feel like I don't notice editing as often unless it's like really, really epic, and normally the editing I notice is with action choreography scenes. But I'm going to do my best to predict this one here. That being, I also realized, I don't think I've been telling you all the ones I've watched recently, but I think all of them have pretty much been repeating. So I think I've already discussed, so you probably can figure out which ones I watch, or you can go to my Letterboxd and you'll see it that way too. But back to film editing, the nominees are F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. This is another hard one. I don't necessarily think that there are like super strong favorites in this category to my understanding. I think all these have a chance, but I personally am going to predict Marty Supreme. I'm going to say Marty Supreme wins the editing, because I think Marty Supreme only is probably only going to have a chance at winning editing and actor. So I think this is another chance for Marty Supreme to possibly win. However, if I were the one voting, I would be picking F1, believe it or not, just because I thought it was really well done in that one. Okay, but so yeah, and then I have seen all the ones in this category, so yeah. All right, next up is one that I probably shouldn't predict because I have like no knowledge about anything in this category. However, we're going to go over it because I do have a prediction. That being international feature film. Nominees include The Secret Agent from Brazil, It Was Just an Accident from France, Sentimental Value from Norway, Surat from Spain, and the voice of Hind Raba from Tunisia. I'm sorry, I butchered all those. I'm so bad at saying these things. I'm sorry. So the reason why I bring this up is I think this is kind of obviously a two-horse race between Cinema Value and The Secret Agent, and the reason for that is because they were also nominated for Best Picture. I feel like oftentimes for Best International and for Best Animated, if one or two of them are nominated for Best Picture, there's a better chance of them winning the other smaller awards. So to me, it is easily a two-horse race between Cinema Value and The Secret Agent. And just for fun, to see if I can get another correct prediction, I'm going to predict Sentimental Value to win. And also, out of the two, because I did watch those two, I did actually prefer Sentimental Value. So like now I've only seen those two in this category, so that's one of the reasons why I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't be throwing my hat into, or however you want to say it, into this category, like giving my thoughts on it because I've only seen the two. But just because it's probably easier to predict this category due to two of them being nominated. Now watch me be completely wrong and none of those two that I mentioned win. That'd be kind of crazy, and it could happen, but in my opinion, that's probably what's going to happen. Next category, makeup and hairstyling. The nominees are Frankenstein, Kakua, I'm probably butchered that, sorry, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I have not seen all these. I've only seen, I think, Frankenstein and Sinners. So, again, another one that I don't have as much knowledge about. So, I probably shouldn't be predicting, but I'm going to anyway. And I actually am going to predict that Frankenstein is going to win it. And admittedly, I do go back and forth between which one I prefer the makeup and hairstyling in, is either Frankenstein or Sinners, but I'm going to agree that Frankenstein should win it, and it will win it. Again, that I have not seen all these in this category, so you never know. But that's what I'm going to go with. Next up, music original score. This is an interesting one. So the nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. To me, this is another very hard one. All these scores are really good. However, I do easily have a favorite score. And it's also going to be the one that I predict to win. So I'm going to say that Sinners wins it. And also, I think Sinners should win it. I think the score in Sinners is amazing. I think all the music in Sinners is amazing. So to me, it should win. And I predict that it will win. Now, another one that is a bit harder, I think, is a two-horse race. Music original song. That including Dear Me from Diane. I probably said that wrong. Golden from K-Pop Dina Hunters. I Lied to You from Sinners. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verda. And Train Dreams from Train Dreams. I'm sorry, again, butchering more names, but, that's fine. To me, this is easily a two-horse race between Golden and I Lied to You. And especially because they're the two that are going to be performed at the Oscars, if I'm remembering right. Those are the only two going to be performed. And I am going to predict that the winner will be Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. I mean, that song is just blown up. It is everywhere. Everyone loves it. Me personally, if I were voting, I would vote for I Lied to You from Sinners. I think that's a better song in my personal opinion. However, I totally get people who love Golden because it's good. It's just not my style personally when it comes to the music I like. But yeah, still well deserved. Now we move on to production design, another really hard one for me to predict, and I'm kind of just predicting for fun, although I have actually seen all of them in this category. The nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Mario Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Again, this is really hard, but I think because of me thinking that One Battle and Sinners are going to do a lot of the winning here, I decided to go between one of those two, and I decided to predict that Sinners will win it. It also is the one that I would vote for personally. Although maybe I would vote for Hamnet though, just because that was really good too, really good production design too. But I'm gonna say Sinners. Okay, now we move on to the next category, that being sound. Another one that I've seen all but one, the last one here. F1 nominees are F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Surratt. Sound. I think this is another hard one. I personally am going to predict F1 to win it. I'm not sure if it's going to win. It's probably not going to win a whole lot. I mean, it could win editing. I don't think it's got a shot at Best Picture. Jumping ahead, but I think it does have a shot at sound. And also, if I were voting, I definitely would be voting for F1 in sound, just because the sound design in that is great with the cars and the motors and all that stuff. I think it was great in that. Next up, we have visual effects. I've seen, again, another category I've seen all but one of them. The nominees are Avatar Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. I bet if you were to tell someone who maybe doesn't follow the Oscars, if you were to tell them that Jurassic World Rebirth got nominated for an Oscar, they probably wouldn't believe you. But it's technically true. Although I also do get it because the dinosaurs in that movie still looked great. But to me, I feel like this is an easy one, just because I feel like it's very easily going to go to Avatar: Fire and Ash. And also, that'd be the one that I personally would pick for visual effects, just because the visual effects in Avatar: Fire and Ash are great. Not one of my favorite movies. I thought it was good, but not amazing. There's no denying to me score and visuals. I honestly I think that's well, maybe not because of the first one. I was gonna say maybe score could have been nominated, but I don't know how that exactly works because it's the same score for 1 and 2. So, and I don't actually remember if they got nominated for score or not. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, I'm gonna predict Avatar: Fire and Ash, and that'd be my pick too because the visual effects were great. And again, I can't comment on Lost Bus. I have not seen that yet. But yeah, okay. Now we move on to the writing categories, which I feel like these ones are pretty obvious, or at least not obvious, but easier to predict. Starting off with writing adapted screenplay, where the nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I think that the winner, I predict that it will be One Battle After Another. Like I said, I think One Battle is going to win a whole lot of awards, and I think it's definitely going to win writing. What one would I personally pick? Honestly, I think, oh man, this is a hard one. I think for writing, I would probably pick, oh man, um, oh man, I feel like this is a hard one because I personally would not just go with One Battle easily. I think this is a hard decision for me. Although I think the voters are going to vote for One Battle, for me it's a bit harder. My personal preferred writing would probably be I'm gonna say Frankenstein. I'm gonna say Frankenstein was my preferred writing, but all of these were honestly pretty good when it came to the writing. Now still writing, but another category of writing, that being writing original screenplay. The nominees are Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Cinema Value, and Sinners. Admittedly, I've only seen some of these. I have not seen It Just an Accident or Blue Moon yet, so maybe not the best for me to comment on. But I do think the winner here will be Sinners, just because, like I said, I think those two are winning most of the awards here, and I think they're definitely going to win. They're like the front runners for Best Picture, so I think they're both winning their categories in writing. If I were to pick again, I having not seen Blue Moon or It Was Just an Accident, between Marty Supreme, Cinema Value, and Sinners, I would be picking Sinners as well when it comes to writing. Although the writing in the other two that I've seen are also good, I think Sinners had the best. And now the final category that we are going to discuss, Best Picture, where we have the nominees are Begonia, F1, which shocked me by the way that got nominated, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Obviously I feel like this is definitely a two-horse race between One Battle After Another and Sinners. And although I think there is a 1% chance that Sinners could be the one that wins, I feel like it's almost be crazy to not say One Battle After Another. So yes, my prediction is One Battle After Another will win Best Picture. Personally, I don't think it should win Best Picture. Now, here's the funny thing. I never would have guessed that F1 would have been nominated, to be honest with you. I'm so happy that I did because I love F1. I thought it was great. And if I were voting, I would probably vote for F1. If you go to my ranking of the 2025 movies, I'd have F1 in the top 10 above Sinners. However, I also would be very happy with Sinners winning. That'd be the one, if you were to tell me you can't vote, don't hope for F1, pretend F1 wasn't nominated, what one do you want to win? I would say Sinners. Because to me, that was probably the best movie competing with F1, in my personal opinion, with these other ones. And I did actually go through and watch all of the films nominated for Best Picture. Some of them I got to see last year. A lot of them I actually caught up after they were nominated. So this year, although I did add them to the Letterboxd list. If you are curious of where they rank in that 2025 list, just because why not? So yeah, my prediction is One Battle After Another. However, I would prefer it to be Sinners, or the one that. But my vote would be F1 because even though I know F1 doesn't have a chance of winning. Although, if that were to happen, it'd be the craziest thing ever. But it won't happen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I also kind of want to rank these 10 Best Picture movies just because I think that'd be kind of fun, to give almost like what my ranking of the Best Picture noms would be. So hopefully the plan is to get that out. Hopefully even maybe before the Oscars. I don't know. I'm recording this predictions a little over a week before the Oscars. And hopefully we'll get it out before the Oscars. we'll see when it comes out. But yeah, and also I realized that I've been just sitting here the whole time. I haven't been swinging around like I do sometimes, but that's because I have a computer next to me that with my predictions written down. I've been looking at that the entire time. So yeah. Anyway, I've been talking for longer than I actually thought I would be about this. But yeah, if you guys tell me all your predictions down below, whether it's for all the categories or only some of them. I would love to hear it. And what do you want to win? Also, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.